Agut Bachra Boisai. The Rishmasi Mibarasur Mordechai. Boisai holding up Ein Ches on base, smack in the middle. Says the Gemara. My Chananya, my Rabbanon, the Gemara brought down briefly Chananya Rabbanon, what's the machlokes here? The Sanya Oisav has benoy noig ben akevois ve'enoi noig b'scharim. Oisav is benoy, according to Tanakama, is only a mother and her offspring. A mother with her son, a mother and a daughter, ve'enoi noig b'scharim. And a father with a son, a father and a daughter is not asur to shecht in one day. Oisav is benoy is the Isser. Here's the pasuk. V'shar Yiseh. Oisoi vezbenoi lois tishchatu b'yem echad. You know shech him and his son. It says in the pasuk Oisoi. The Gemara is saying it means only the mother. So this is an idea that we're going to see and talk about a lot. Because are we concerned? Do we care about a father? When it comes to Judaism, we care about the father a lot. Father, if a father is a Sephardi and the mother is Ashkenazi, so we go and we say the kid is a Sephardi. If a father is a Kohen, the kid is a Kohen. We care about the father. There's a lot to do with this, but not with an animal maybe. That's called Ein Chosheshin L'Zerav. We don't care about the father. It's not important who the father is. What's important is who the mother is. So the Isser of shechting the offspring the same day as the parent is only with the mother, he says. No, the Isser goes for father and a mother the same way. My time of the Rabbanon, what's Rabbanon's reason? I would think that it would be also to shech a father and his daughter, a father and son. V'dinu. And l'chayra, we can bring a kavachoymer. Chiv kam v'chiv be'im alabanim. Eim alabanim is actually a whole parak in Chulin about Shiloh Hakan, chasing away the mother bird. Now what happens if you have a father bird? Because here in Bet Shemesh, you have a nice, how you doing? You have a nice nest on your porch. Who doesn't? You want to be kind of the mitzvah. So first of all, it can't be on your property. It has to be in hefker property, so you have to be mafker your porch, that area. It's better to be mafker beforehand. Thing is, you go to the thing, you shoot away. What if it's the father? Do you get any mitzvah if you shoot away the father? I mean, there's no way for you to know if it's the mother or the father. You can't even see, even if you checked it, you wouldn't know. There's no checking. We said, Ein Zachras v'Nakvas B'Oifos. There's no way to see. So, what happens if you shoot away the father? You get a mitzvah, you don't get a mitzvah. So we're going to learn from Shiluach HaKen, what's the mitzvah? The mitzvah is you have a mother with eggs or with little chicks, you shoot the mother away. The whole mitzvah is only when you shoot away the mother, the female. But now when you shoot away the father, so too, by Oislov as Benoy, the Isser the Shech, it's only a mother with her offspring, but not a father with his offspring. Maybe it's only by a bird because it has to be hefker. The bird has to be hefker. When it's on your windowsill, it's a big problem. The best way to do it is to say before the season, like right now is the season. Say if you're not normal, you let the pigeon do it on your porch, okay? So you say, wherever it's going to do it, I'm mafkir right now, to begin with. But you can be mafkir afterwards. If you find two animals that are hefker, it would still be awesome for you to shech them, the mother and the son. One out of the two. In other words, either the father or the mother. Now, it's one or the other. Oisai can only mean one. One parent, you have the Isser. And you have to pick which one. So now the Torah said it's only one. So now I'm going to have to use the binyanav. So now I'm going to learn from Shiluach HaKen. Just like Shiluach HaKen is only the mother and not the father. Only by the mother. And if you're going to want to say, it says Oisai Bez Benoi. Here, Benoi. If you're going to have a question, I'm going to answer you. To say, from the two parents, the boys are thinking about this, from the two parents, who is a child more connected to? It's father or it's mother? Mother. Everybody says mother. Yotza Zachar She'ein Benoi Kar Chachrav. Father, not so connected. Oh, sorry, I might have skipped here. What does it mean if you feel like saying it, you want to answer? Maybe you'll say the word oisai. Means only a zachar oisai. That's the first thing that came to mind when I saw the pasuk. B'sharei said oisai, bez benai, the father and son, not the mother and son. It says oisai. Oh, for that I'll tell you. No, it has to be a real son. Especially in animals, they're not connected. This connection that animals have with their kids is a mother and a son, not a father and a son. Benoi kar achrov. Benoi kar achrov. Top of ein tes dalaf. Chananya ksiv oisai the mashma zachar says Chananya, no, this is Benoi is a father and a daughter and a mother. They're equal. You're not allowed to shech the father and the son, just like you're not allowed to shech the mother and her son. We have a little problem, a dilemma. On the one hand it says Oisai, which means a father and a son. On the other hand it says Kar Chachrov, a mother. Hilkach. It applies to both. We go with Chananya that was Choshen Zera. We're concerned about the father, so you're not allowed to shech the father and the son, just like you're not allowed to shech the mother and her son. V'azdo Shmuel Tamei, and Shmuel goes with his own reasoning. It's not. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Hanilodim min hasus. If the mother is a horse, we're not going to go into grammar over here. Sus could go both ways, which is a susa. Sus. If the mother is a horse. What happens when you marry off a horse together with a donkey? What do you have? A mule, a parrot, or a female paired up. Mutarim zebezeh. The what? Is an elodim nasus. There are two different mishpachas, two different horses. But one of them had a boy, one of them had a girl. You're allowed to marry them off. Why? If I care about the father, so then they're both mules. And if I don't care about the father, then they both came from horses. Either they're mules, and a mule can marry a mule, or they're horses. Why are they horses? Because I don't care about the father. How do you say that in Hebrew? I don't care about the father. So what do I care about? Just the mother. And in both cases, in both families, the mother is a horse. So these two children right over here, these two parrots in the center are both horses. They're allowed to get married because horses are allowed to marry a horse. And if I do care about the father, so then we have something new called a mule. So two mules are allowed to marry each other. It's not a problem. If the father, just look at the right side of the mishpacha. If the father is a horse in mishpacha number 1, and the father is a donkey in mishpacha number 2, so in a way you have a donkey and a horse in mishpacha number 1 and a donkey and a horse in mishpacha number 2. But not really. Why? Because the fathers are different. Yes, it's a combination of horse and a donkey, but it's different. One, the mother is a horse, and one, the mother is a donkey. The other one, the father is a horse, the father is a donkey. Different. Why? Because now we have to say, maybe we don't care about, think about it. Look at this for a second. The fathers. Who's the father on the right side? Everybody together. Who's the father on the right? A horse. And who's the father on the left side? A donkey. What if I don't care about the fathers? Here, I asked them out. Look, check this out. They had a kid. Boom. If I get rid of the fathers, what do I have here? I have a mother who's a donkey and a mother who's a horse. That's a problem. Because now I have a horse that married a donkey. One mule is a donkey because I only care for mishpacha number one. The mule is a donkey, and mishpacha number two, the mule is a horse, and a horse cannot marry a donkey. That's if I don't care about the father. V'omar Rav Yehuda, V'omar Rav Yehuda, Omar Shmuel, Zu Divri Rav Yehuda, the Omar Eichajun Zerav. The Gemara explained. If I don't care about the father, so now I'm left with this picture right over here. Chacham say no, not true, and that's why you can't even switch the name tags according to you. According to that, you should. At the end of the day, I don't care. Look, a mule is a mule. There's two types of mules. One mule, the father was a horse and the mother was a donkey. The other one was in reverse. The father was a donkey, the mother was a mule. But they're both mules. And a mule can marry a mule. Say Chachamim. We're passing like Chachamim, no? Man Chachamim. Here we go. Chananyahu. Chachamim in plural is Chananya. That means Shmuel says I paskin like Chananya. Why do I call him Chachamim? Because that's how I paskin. I go with the plural. I go with the majority. Because I care about the fathers. In this case, I'm going to care about the father. Over here, on the right side, the father is a horse, and on the left side, the father is a donkey, and I care about them. So now the offspring, the guys in the center, are 50% horse, 50% donkey. Why? Because I care about the father. So it doesn't matter how you got to the 50%. Is there a difference if a father is Ashkenazi and a mother is a Sephardi, or the mother is Ashkenazi and the father is a Sephardi? What's the difference? The kid is 50-50. That's it. No matter how it works, it's 50-50. Ibaylo. Asking about unfortunately the Rebbe Yehuda, they chayshon zerav. The Rebbe Yehuda say for a fact, I know that I don't care about the father, or maybe he wasn't sure. Which is interesting. At the end of the Gemara, we're going to say everybody holds that we're not sure. Chachamim and Rebbe Lezer, everybody holds we're not sure. We don't know for a fact. What's the difference? Lemishre pri imaim. Oh, check this out. There's one mishpacha over here. We have a donkey and a horse. The mother is a horse. And they have offspring. Now that offspring, if I don't care about the father, that offspring is allowed to marry a horse. Why? Because he's a horse. I care only about the mother. If I already decided what Allah is, then, because I'm not questioning about the father. Oh, yeah, Eliam is a book of but if we have a suffix, pre-name also. This case that there's a mule that came from a chamor, so that would be also. So what's the halacha? What do we do at the end of the day? Is it a suffix, not a suffix? Says Gemara, Tashma Reb Eli Merkol, and Elodim Nastus, Af al pi shavin chamor, mutarim zeh bezeh. The Rebbe says anything that was born from a female horse, even though the father's a donkey, mutarim zeh bezeh. What's the case? So we go back to picture number one. This is a simple case. That what? Both fathers and both mishpachas are both donkeys. Both mothers are both a horse. Rabbi Isai, take a look at this picture for a second. Is there any problem in this picture? Could the offspring marry each other? Both mothers are horses. Both fathers are donkeys. What's the problem? The offspring is the same exact. They're identical offspring. You either call them a mule or you call them a horse. Either way, they're allowed to marry each other. Now we're going to a new case. Check this out. Look at mishpacha number one. What's mishpacha number one's son going to be called? A horse. 100% purebred horse. Thoroughbred. Mishpacha number two, the mother is a horse. Oh. So this is the case. We're saying that since the mother is a horse in mishpach number 2, the father is a donkey, I don't care about the father. Rabbi, this actually reminds me a little bit of Yavamis. Yavamis just with horses and donkeys. It's unbelievable. Okay, Elulav. So what's the case? What do you see? If in this case, Rabbi say, you're allowed to make a chasana between a horse and a preda, which the mother is a horse. What does that tell me? I don't care about mishpacha number 2 father. He's nothing to me. What is the chashav akala? She's a thoroughbred horse. Why? Because I don't care about the chamar. The horse on the right, of course he's a horse. His father and mother are a horse. So you see that we came to a conclusion. No. We're talking about the case, the simple case, that the 2 parents are identical. The mothers are horses, the fathers are chamars. Maybe these guys cannot get married. Why? Because maybe the chamar, 50% of him is chamar, he gets married to 50% of the horse. And his 50% that is a horse is getting married to 50% that is a chamar. Let's see what it came out with. Here. Oh, 50% horse is getting married to the 50% chamar, and that's a problem. Says Gemara. Gomash Malon, maybe that's the chiddush. That what? Maybe I'm coming to tell you a chiddush. Then in this case, Rabbi said this case, it's a third min. There's something called a horse, something called a donkey, there's something called a mule. And a mule is allowed to marry a mule. It's a new thing. It's not a horse marrying a mule, a horse marrying a donkey. It's a mule marrying a mule. You have a mule that wants to have children or whatever. So you're not allowed to make a shidduch with a horse or a donkey. Ella mina. Remember that. It's important words. Only with her own. She can marry another mule. And if it's so simple to you that I don't care about the father, figure out who her mother is, and let's say her mother's a horse. Let's say her mother's a horse. The father's a donkey. So give her a shidduch with a horse. Because I only go by the mother, not by the father. Elamai, I do care about the father. So the Gemara, no. It happens to be, I don't know, I found a mule, I bought a mule in the market. I don't know if her father is if the mother was a donkey or the mother was a horse. I don't know. But the problem is, it says, I told you to remember those words. It says Elamina. You should marry off with her min. So you do know. So the point is, if you know, you're right, but you don't know. Says Gemara, check out what's the problem. Take any mule, and you'll see whether or not the mule is a horse or the mule is a donkey. How? If it has a very thick voice, it's a donkey. It's the son of a donkey. If it's a very thin, so asking Gemara, everybody has a simon. You can tell what it is. If it has a voice like this, like that. If it has very large ears, and has a small tail, you should know it's a donkey. So the shaila is, we could just look at the ear. Zutra Nudna, if he has small ears, Rabbi Gnufte and a long tail, he's a horse. This horse can't scream, doesn't have a voice, it doesn't have a tail, doesn't have ears. You can't tell. So when we go back to this case, Priyamaim, meaning you have just one mishpacha and they had a parrot, you're allowed to marry the same, or you're not allowed to. Now we're saying you're not allowed to marry a horse. This shidduch is no good. Why? Why is this no good? The mother's a horse. Why can't you marry a horse? The answer is because I'm concerned about the father is a donkey. So what do you see from here? Shma mino. So Shma mino. The shmat. So we have a raya that what? I'm concerned. All the Rebbe told his mashbak, his shamish. When you get me these mules for the wagon, make sure they look the same. They have the same type of size, ears, tail. That the simanim are good. The ister is here. This is I guess a chatzi, but this is ister to plow a field together with two different animals, and also the same ister would apply to a wagon to do other melachas with these two animals. So make sure that they're the same breed. You see from here that he's not concerned. Why? Because if he was concerned, then he would allow all mules. Why? Because all mules are the same min. But if he's not concerned, then you have a problem of kilai. And also you see another thing that I can test on the base, v'simonim doiraisa. The fact is that simonim are doiraisa. Why? The idea that you could return something to someone based on a little siman that how do you say siman in English? Not a sign. A mark, some sort of telling sign, a telling sign. Okay, identifying marker. That's the deraisa thing, because over here we're talking about isurim deraisa, and based on the size of an ear or whatever, we're allowing it to happen. Tanakama says that oisav es benoi applies to climb. Climb means two different types of behemoths, like a goat and a sheep. Ubekoi or tree is a whole sugya that we're going to have, but basically, this is the basic one that we're talking about. We're going to see machlokes what a koi is. Some say it's its own breed, it's something different. But some say no, it comes from a goat and a deer. Is the goat the father, mother? That's the sugya. But a koi, what's interesting about a koi? One parent is a behema, one parent is a chaya. It's very different. Rebbe Eli Stefansky Kilayim aboben ezum in arochel oisev es benoi noig boy. Reb Eliezer argues and he says no. When it's kilayim two behemoths, then you have a problem. Oisev es benoi. Again, what's the idea? Let's go back. Oisev es benoi. You know how to shecht a mother and her son. According to one sheet of Chananya, we pass on that father and a son. But that only applies to behemoths, not to chayas. The koi over here is a problem because he's 50% chaya, so maybe he's not chaya. This, he says, the kilayim, the two behemoths, says Reb Eliezer, yes, that is oisev es benoi. Because regardless, I don't care how you look at it, even if the father is a goat, the mother is a goat, doesn't matter. But it's a behemoth, so it's oisev es benoi. But koi, ain't oisev es benoi noig, not by a koi. Why? Because we're going to have to see the Gemara where Reb Eliezer holds, Suffolk. We're going to see. That's the whole sugya. What's the case? Oh, all right. So it's unfortunate, but because we have this Israeli shiur and it's getting late, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.